Hello again. It appeared that I got so feisty that I knocked the tripod over because I was getting feisty. Okay, back to where we were. He said, does seeing this change your opinion of Dr. Ray and whether he retracted his statement? And he said, it appears he hasn't completely withdrawn his position. Okay, fancy words for that. You aren't a toxicologist, a cardiologist, or a pulmonologist? No. The forensic panel that you are on is not nonprofit, is it? No. It's not volunteer? No. You're compensated for your time? Yes. Talked more about positional asphyxia. Did you analyze where Chauvin's knees were? Do you agree his knee was on his neck or his back or his left side? Yes. So he is sandwiched between Chauvin and the pavement. It took him a minute, but he said yes. And this is where I wrote, Fowler looks like he's going to cry. His face is red, and he had his head in his hand like this. Like he seriously looked like he was going to cry because I think he knew he was getting schooled. He talked about, being sandwiched between Chauvin and the pavement. That can cause irreversible brain damage, and he said correct. They talked more about positional asphyxia. They talked about medical examiner textbooks that they use, more info related to positional asphyxia. Do you understand a diagnosis of positional asphyxia is based on the investigation because on autopsy you won't find any evidence of it? And he said that was correct. You studied prone position studies. Is it true that none of those studies involved a knee to the neck? That is true. None of those studies went for 9 minutes and 29 seconds? That is true. Do you agree if weight from an officer is placed on a torso or abdomen that it can cause positional asphyxia? He paused for a moment. He said, if it exceeds the limit of 225 pounds, then yes. So Exhibit 808 mentioned a previous deposition that he had talked in. They showed him the deposition notes where it said what it would take to cause positional asphyxia, and they read his answer. And he said, you didn't say anything about it needing to be 200 or 225 pounds, did you? And he said, I said several officers. I didn't give a specific weight. They discussed the timeline with Mr. Floyd in the prone position. As a physician, he would agree he should have been given CPR when he went into cardiac arrest. Do you recall his legs raising up? Yes. Do you consider that an anoxic seizure? Yes. That means damage to the brainstem? It's not. It means the higher portion of the brain is not functioning properly. Do you remember him being choked when being put into the car? And he said no. So Exhibit 281 and 282 were still photos of Floyd being choked. That could be a good reason why someone would say, I can't breathe. And he said yes. He didn't show that. And he said no. Oh, wait, never mind. They talked more about the timeline. Okay, and then they talked about, usually on fentanyl overdose, they get really sleepy because opioids depress the respiratory system. So their breathing really starts to slow down until they're basically rendered in like a coma type of state. So he said, yes, the fentanyl OD makes them sleepy. He said, yes. He didn't show that? No. There were no pills in his stomach? No. Okay. Last page. They talked more about methamphetamine, what it does, and then just more about the timeline. Then they took a break because, of course, they took a break. On redirect, Eric Nelson had asked, have you ever been provided with weights of a police equipment? He said no. Did your report mention the potential for carbon monoxide? Yes. Since submitting the report, have you been provided with any CO2 testing? No. Have you been provided with pictures of the bottom of the squad car? Yes. They talked more about the Dr. Ray affidavit. They read it again. They showed a video clip of Floyd, when they were putting him in the car, him saying, "I'm getting choked, I can't breathe." And then they showed, Chauvin having him kind of in a chokehold at that time. He said, "Did Chauvin have a tight grip around his neck?" No, it appeared to be loose. And then on cross-examination again, they said, "Did you see any footage of Mr. Floyd spitting out a pill?" He said no. And then he attempted to ask another question. They objected, it was sustained. So then he tried to rephrase the question. They objected again, it was sustained. And he finally just said no further questions. So then they went to recess for the day. That was that. So really just that one witness today. They interviewed him, but it took a long time. Mr. Blackwell caught him lying or fibbing or, whatever you want, exaggerating, whatever you want to call it. So of note, something funny was the times that I've heard Mr. Blackwell question people during this trial prior to today, he always seemed so calm, so gentle. He was always smiling. He was always polite. And not today, boy. He was a bulldog. It was kind of nice to see him like that. I know he's very well known for a lot of cases, and he's done some good work. So, yeah, what a day. Second video of the day. Don't expect that. Anyway, just had to give you the information. Again, guys, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate the comments when people say that this helps or that they enjoy it, especially if they don't have time to watch the trial. So I appreciate all so much. Keep those comments coming, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.